What do you guys see right now when you look at this park? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Grass, dandelions. Dogs walking. I like all those things because look, you already just altered your world a little bit. You know, maybe before this started, you would have just seen a park. Now I already heard 2 different edibles, grass and dandelions. And 3, I love that you said dogs walking because that's a really good thing to consider. Hey, there's animals. It's a high trafficked area. Good job. One more thing about dandelions. These things are really edible and they're delicious. The little flowers. So when you're at home, I invite you to, this is your homework. Just take one of these flowers and plop it in your mouth, chew it up. You'll notice that it's very sweet. Kind of has a pleasant green kale-like taste. These things concentrate vitamin D. And guess what? In areas where we lack it many months out of the year, this is a really good thing to put in your diet. Now, how do you eat it? Flour fritters. You can fry them up in a little bit of oil and batter. Great. You can also take these and stick them in honey, and the honey will just concentrate, preserve them, right? So you make like a dandelion infused jam. You can throw them on salads raw. You can throw them in soups. One thing I like to do sometimes is actually take the petals out of it, put them in an ice cube tray, fill it with water, freeze them. Now you have flour, petaled, infused ice. And in a summery drink, it looks beautiful. Make sense? Okay, we're going to go into the shade over there, kind of get a little reprieve from the sun and talk about some plants.
Is it necessary to wash that?
Oh, yeah, is it necessary to wash that? Absolutely. You want to wash stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just asking.
I like it.
Sound like you throw it right.
Okay, there's been a few follow-ups about dandelion. One is about the root and one about the leaves. Let's see if we can't get both here. So we'll do some digging. And careful, there's blackberries. Okay, so number 1, if you can find a dandelion, actually I'd love everybody to grab a leaf of dandelion if you can. Okay, everybody has a dandelion leaf, right? Here's a test to identify a true dandelion. You're going to flip it over and you're going to run your finger along the main vein. Tell me what you feel.
Smooth.
Smooth. Fuzz? Uh-oh, let's see.
Fuzzy.
It should be smooth. So the leaves are a little fuzzy, but the vein of a dandelion is smooth. That's a true dandelion. So that's one great identifying characteristic.
So this one with fuzz on it is not.
So the one with fuzz on it is not a dandelion. So there's lots of different varieties of dandelions. Like I already mentioned, they're in the sunflower family. The sunflower family is the largest family of plants. There's nearly 24,000 varieties. And a lot of those are edible. I don't want to speak in absolutes. I don't want to say all of them are edible, because some people might be allergic to dandelion, for example. And so for them, they're not edible. But it's a very good family to get accustomed to, because you could potentially expand your food choices 24,000 different ways, right? And I believe there's over 300 varieties of dandelions, and all of them are edible. You can eat the leaves in smoothies and soups, salads. You can eat the flowers. You can eat the stems. And you can also eat the roots. But generally, I don't eat the roots, because when you harvest the roots, it kills the plant. So in my book, I have a chapter called Respect the Roots. With something like a dandelion, it's not a big issue because dandelions are extremely resilient. So if you see 100 dandelions growing, you can eat 99 of them and they'll be fine. But with other plants like wild ginger, for example, it's really, really sensitive. So if you start harvesting roots, you're going to wipe out that population and then it won't grow there. So in an effort to be more ecological, I suppose, and responsible, I often stay away from the roots and just harvest the greens and the fruits, because I feel like that's nature's gift to us. And I also am kind of lazy sometimes. I feel like it's a lot easier to harvest some greens than some roots. That's kind of where I stand on roots. If you were to eat them, you could bake them in the same way that you'd bake like sweet potatoes or potatoes. In the South, they actually make a coffee substitute out of dandelion roots and chicory roots. It does not have caffeine, so you get the taste of coffee, but you don't get the stimulant. What else can I tell you? Is there any other questions about roots?
Do you worry about the soil that they're growing in?
So
Like in this park, would you eat the roots?
in this park, I probably would not eat the roots because I haven't done my due diligence. I haven't called the Parks Service to figure out what they spray or don't spray. But in my yard, I would eat the roots. Absolutely.